Here is Dudley Dickerson, and he is doing his first off the farm field trip, a little cross country schooling at Ian Redmond's place, which is just about 30 minutes away. And it's just such a great little place to take babies for their first school. So I always start by just doing a nice big walk all around the field, let them see everything. And then we walk over the little logs, and he was really good about that. Actually, he was great about just the whole ordeal from the moment we left the barn. He loads great, he travels great, he stood really nicely to get tacked up, he let me get on from a pile of logs in the field. There was a little miscommunication about who should have been videoing all of that, so I don't have any of it on video, unfortunately, but I think I probably have put enough video of Dudley out there that you can imagine that he was very chill and easy about it. So this is Alyssa's first time videoing a cross country schooling, and she's only videoed a few times. And so, of course, it's a learning process. When I videoed her, my video was less than perfect also. So there's a lot of cutting in and out because she didn't realize, because I didn't tell her appropriately, that I like it just to keep a continuous stream so that everybody can just see the flow. And so we got that a little more at the end once I realized that I actually needed to tell someone what I wanted them to do. But anyway, so Dudley had just the most quiet, perfect little warm up. He didn't look at anything. There was no spooking. Of course, there's no silliness with Dudley. The most this horse is going to do that silly is just one shake of his head. So just a really nice walk, trot, canter around the field, walking and trotting over the little poles. And I will say that, he has just this super nice rocking horse canter. And I really struggled to see a distance out of it at the beginning of our ride. And of course, it took me longer than it should have to realize that the reason I couldn't see a good distance out of this canter is because it's way too quiet of a canter. It's just like a little teacup canter. And so in the last part of the video, which is the second half of our cross country school, when I realized that that was the problem, and that's why sometimes we were getting hung up in the air a little bit, the distances weren't quite right, was because we just didn't have enough power and motivation coming to the jumps. So when I finally sat up and put my leg on and rode with some purpose, it all smooths right out. And so I'm very embarrassed to say that that took me a little bit longer than it should have to figure out. But the good news is he's happy to jump from any distance, as I tested today. And from a little bit behind the leg. He doesn't care. He will still go. So he was a very good boy. And what I like about him is that, I mean, you can literally just cross country school him with the loop in the reins. Even when I sat up and added a bunch of leg and we came more forward, it doesn't add any more pressure to your hand. You can still ride with just a nice soft contact in the reins. So even like to these logs here, even though the distance was okay, like the distances are okay, but you can see you got a little hung up in the air there. And even to the little log ground pole before that, it just was underpowered. He just needed to be cantering with purpose. And also coming out of the trot, we definitely, I mean, there's nothing wrong with jumping out of the trot. I love jumping out of the trot. I just did not have him moving to the jump like he was on a mission. I was just like, oh, this is so nice and quiet and rocking horse. And it was just lacking power in all gaits. And so he was being extraordinarily good. I mean, what a good baby horse doing all the things. But this is all before I realized that I really just needed to add some impulsion to his canter and that would smooth things way out. So that was better. Even though the spot was a little bit close, it was fine because at least he had some power coming into it. As long as they're in a good balance, they can jump from any distance, is what I'm told. I'm always trying to achieve that. I thought he jumped that little coop there. Very cute. And then that was a nice jump out of the trot. That was a trotting up with purpose, and he made such a nice shape as a result of that. Again, even better. I mean, goodness, he has some nice form when his rider rides him appropriately. And so then that's the double ramp. That's a bit bigger than anything else he's jumped. So I actually did think I came in with a good working trot with purpose, but it's just a little bit different. So he got hung up in the air a little bit the first time to it. Really cute there of the little coop next to that table. Now here, this is hard, not because, I mean, obviously it's just a little stack of logs. That's not what's hard, but you've just gone by the trailer and he has friends on the trailer and they were calling to him a little bit. So that's what made jumping that pile of logs hard, and he was actually great about it. And then here, this is such a better canter with some impulsion, and then look how nicely he jumps out of that canter. So much better. Just needs to be covering some ground. Getting there with enough energy that he has options at the base of the jump. Things you would think are basic. They are basic, just sometimes easier said than done in the moment. So good to that ramp out of the canter. That felt fantastic, and he made such a nice shape. Alyssa and I are both on the learning curve with the whole videoing thing. And then that was tight, obviously not the ideal distance, but it was coming with energy. And then again, I mean, goodness, my eye was off. But just such a good sport and totally unbothered by any of these distances that I'm giving him. Yes, I circled around to redo that because I realized in the moment that I really should find him a nicer spot. I like the quality of that canter so much more. He's going somewhere, he's covering ground, his ears are pricked, and that was so much better. Very good, I like that. Here we were getting into some flow and some rhythm, and he felt really good. I mean, he is so good natured and he's just so steady. Rider cannot see a distance, but super clever, willing horse to just figure it out, which they have to do sometimes. So good. For some reason, I could see such a great spot to that ramp, and